Hello again and welcome to another Warhammer 40k Mordy and Glory video. Today we are going to be doing a review of the upcoming Imperial Guard Combat Patrol box set. Now, at the time of recording, the Combat Patrol box set is not released, but thanks to the fact that we've got our hands on the Special Edition Codex as part of the Cadia Stands box set, we do know exactly what's going to be in that Combat Patrol because there's a picture of it in the Codex. And that picture is the one that's on your screens right now. So as I'm going through this box set and breaking it down, not only will you be able to hear me analyze it, but you'll have a perfect visual representation of what the heck I am talking about at the same time. But without further ado, let's crack straight on and dive into today's video. Now, the first thing to mention is that the models you get in the Combat Patrol are exactly the same as the ones you got in the Cadia Stands box. In fact, the only difference between the two is that the Combat Patrol isn't going to come with those data cards or the Codex. However, if you didn't pick up one of the Cadia Stands box sets, then I'll go through in detail what you get as part of your Combat Patrol. You're going to get 2 squads of Cadian shock troopers. Each one of these squads is going to contain 10 infantry for a total of 20 guardsmen. You're also going to get a command squad for an additional 5 infantry models, a single sentinel, which you can build as either the scout or armored variant, and you're going to get a field ordnance battery containing 2 of the big artillery guns. Each Cadian shock troop kit is going to come with all the bits that you need to build every weapon option that it can take. So you're going to get 1 of each special weapon. Each Cadian Shock Trooper squad is going to come with 1 of each special weapon, a Voxcaster, and all of the different bits you're going to need to equip your sergeant. Everything from lance pistol and chainsword through to the drum-fed autogun. The command squad comes with the parts you need to build a medic, a regimental standard, and a master vox. It also comes with at least 1 of each special weapon and a variety of combat weapons and pistols so that you can equip your officer with a variety of loadouts. Now, the Sentinel can be built as both the armored or the scout version. Now, what's great about the new Sentinel kit is that all of the weapons are push fit, and the bits that make an armored sentinel just slot over the top of the bits that make it a scout sentinel. Just that extra armor panel just get plopped on top. That means that you don't need to magnetize it to have any of the different weapons, and you don't even need to magnetize it to switch between the scout sentinel variant and the armor sentinel variant. So it's a really versatile kit, and it comes with everything you need to build whatever type of sentinel you want. Last but certainly not least, the field ordnance battery comes with enough parts for each gun that you can give them each of the different weapon options: the bombast cannon, the multiple rocket launcher, or the heavy las cannon. Again, the great thing about this kit is that it's really easy to swap out between the different weapons. You simply take the bombast cannon off and you can put the heavy las cannon on instead. Now that we know what's in the box, what models we get, and how we can equip them, let's take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly of the Imperial Guard Combat Patrol. Now, the first good thing that I want to mention, and to me, this is one of the most important things about the box set, is it comes with a legal army. There are some combat patrols out there for other factions that literally come with a number of models that you can't form into any kind of coherent force. You need to buy other stuff to make them legal on the tabletop. Not so with the Guard one. You can build a fully formed patrol detachment straight out of the box with these models. For me, that is a massive positive 5 out of 5 big gold star for this box set, because it means that as a newer player getting into the game, you can just get this box off the shelf, build it, paint it, and then start playing with it almost straight away. You can dive into games ASAP. Now, building off that, the next good thing about this Combat Patrol is the models you actually get in it are pretty good. The fact it comes with 20 infantry means that you're going to have a really solid core for your Guard army. For those that don't know, the Guard infantry is the foundation on which the rest of the army lies. If you don't have a solid core of infantry, you are going to really struggle in your games. So the fact that this army is setting you off on the right direction and it's saying, look, the majority of the models you're going to get in this box set are infantry. This is the way you want to be thinking. This is the direction you want to be going in. I think that's a really big positive, and it sets players off on the right track. I personally really like the fact that this box set also comes with the field ordnance battery. Now, if you're a newer player listening to this, I would recommend that you build those with the bombast cannon. And the reason for that is the bombast cannon can fire indirectly. What that means is that it doesn't need to be able to see its opponent in order to be able to shoot it. It can just shoot those shells up and down. That's a really powerful ability for any faction to have in Warhammer 40k, and the Guard gets some of the best artillery in the game. And being able to leverage that straight away, just being able to go into games with indirect fire, being able to lay down that fire support and not have to worry about your fragile artillery guns getting picked up in return, it's really strong. I really like the fact that also the Field Arms Battery, it's so easy to swap those weapons out, because it means if the meta shifts and suddenly heavy lance cannons become the way to go, you can do so without having to worry too much. It's just a great little kit that is very versatile and will allow you to pivot and change as the meta ebbs and flows. Now I'm going to talk about the command squad for a second, because I think this is one of the best and most versatile kits that you're getting in this Combat Patrol box. You could just build the command squad as you see it on the box art. Officer, 4 veterans, having a great time. That's actually a really solid unit that you can include in any Guard army with no problems. But you can also build those models in a way that can create any kind of Guard character you're going to need for your army. For example, you see the guy with the Power Fist and Bolt Pistol? He could easily be used to build Acadian Castellan instead. That could be a HQ choice for your Combat Patrol. That leaves you 4 other models to get creative with. The Officer with the Power Sword? If you paint that longer coat in a black colour scheme, you've got yourself a Commissar. And you could do similar things for the other 3 models in the kit. Now, I'm not suggesting you would want to do this with your first Combat Patrol box set, but if you're thinking of picking up an extra command squad, or you were thinking of picking up more than one Combat Patrol, I would certainly suggest that you build your second command squad as the other support characters you'll need for your army. And this leads me on to the last good thing about this box set, which is that you can easily buy multiple of them and not end up with any redundant units. If you were to pick up 2 or even 3 of these box sets, you would end up with a really solid core for your new Imperial Guard army. Likewise, if you're a veteran player who's looking to add some of the new models to your already existing Guard force, picking up a few Combat Patrols is a great way to get your hands on a lot of the new models for a decent price. Now that we've covered what's good about the Combat Patrol, it's time to move on to what's bad about it. And for me, there is just sort of one thing that sticks out. It's that lone Sentinel. A single Sentinel on its own isn't really very good. Even if you were to pick up 3 of these box sets, sure, you'd end up with 3 armored Sentinels, but it still isn't really a proper armored component to your army. When you compare this to something like, let's say, the Gene Stealer Cult Combat Patrol, which comes with a big Goliath truck, which you can build as either a transport or one of their heavy support options, it does make you realize that the armored component, the vehicle part of this Combat Patrol, is probably the weakest bit. Even if you were to pick 3 of them up, you're still going to need to end up getting some Lehman Russes at some point. So whilst it covers the infantry, the artillery, and the characters very well, you are going to need other Guard vehicles other than those armored Sentinels. And this leads me on to the ugly part of this review, which is that in older box sets, we got transports and we got heavy tanks. I mean, just look at the old Start Collecting box set. It came with a Lehman Russ. You could buy that Start Collecting box set again and again and again, and you just end up with more and more usable models. You'd end up with whole squadrons of Lehman Russes, which is great. You can never have enough. You'd end up with whole platoons of infantry. Yeah, you'd end up with a lot of Commissar models, but with some creative conversions, they could become platoon commanders, company commanders, and all sorts of other support characters. And it also came with a heavy weapons team, so the more you picked up, the more heavy weapons squads you ended up getting. You also had the old Cadian Defense Force box set, which back in its day would cost about the same as the Combat Patrol box, but it came with 20 infantry, a command squad, 3 heavy weapon teams, a Chimera, and a Lehman Russ. You got heavy armor and you got transports in that old box set, and you get neither of them in this one. However, despite this, I would still say that the Combat Patrol is a good buy. I mean, those other old box sets aren't available anymore, and when you compare this one to the other Combat Patrols of other factions, it is a pretty good one. You can't really go wrong with it. It gives you everything you need to get started with your Guard army, and it sets you on the right path. But what do you guys think? Do you like the Combat Patrol box set, or do you think there was something else they could have done with it? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you've enjoyed today's video and you want to see more content like this, then make sure you like the video and also subscribe to never miss an episode. If you've really enjoyed today's video or you found it particularly helpful, then please consider becoming a channel member or Patreon supporter. One of the biggest perks you get from being a channel member or patron is access to the Mordy and Glory Discord server. This is an online community with over 700 active members. There's always someone to chat to about something to do with 40k or the Imperial Guard. Everything from tactics to memes to painting to hobbying to armorists, we've got it all. So if that sounds like not only a ton of fun, but also a pretty helpful resource to draw upon, then please consider becoming a channel member or Patreon supporter. And I'd just like to take a moment to say a thank you to all of our latest channel members and patrons. So a massive thank you to PJ Horton, Alex Stratton Lake, The Lonely Shepherd, Matthew, Cappuccino, IB, Hidalago 334, Justin, Cliff and Robert M. Thank you guys for doing your part. Thank you for joining the channel. Shout out to the latest Patreon supporters as well. So a big thank you to Echo Marker, Potato Wrangler, Dan Dodge, Ragnarocus, Tsar Phoenix and Soviet Commubot. Now, last but certainly not least, I want to say a personal thank you to all of my top tier Patreon supporters. These are the War Masters, the people that have truly gone above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to supporting the channel. So a massive thank you and an 07 down in that comment section for Bonbon Vert, Phil French, Ross Miller, Tekwal, Alex Dengal, John Stubbs, Nick Walsh, Sorvish Trombone, Diesel Fox, Tom Sutton, and Sly Varney. Massive thank you to all of you guys. Your ongoing and generous support is a big part of how I'm able to do Mordy and Glory full time now. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. Thank you for watching, and of course, as always, I'll see you guys next time.